Hello and welcome back to our weekly training on new home sales. This is what we do in Powered by Ground. We talk about new home sales, resale, and distressed in training brokers in the space of new home sales and how to slowly overlap their business in new home sales. If you've been watching us for a while, you kind of understand that new home space is a huge contributor to your local market and to the national market as a whole. Many new buyers in the market want a new home, and many builders understand that there's a greater demand for new homes than those that could be built. That's why new homes is a huge contributor to brokers. And in one of our trainings, we talk about why new home sales, and we give a fairly long list to our watchers and hearers and followers for brokers to understand what eventually needs to take place when we focus on new home sales. Today, actually last week, we talked about the life of the builder, and in our training, we're trying to unpack certain viewpoints of new homes. You know, the players involved, the builders, the developers, the investors. So you as a broker could have a better understanding how all of these pieces come together. And we spent a wholesome lesson on the life of the builder. And why we put the word life there is because it truly is a lifestyle. Those people who decide to become builders and choose that career, they're usually builders for their lifetime. And they usually learn how to build homes, and then communities, or whether semi-custom, custom, traditional, modern homes, whatever path that builder chooses, but it's a life that they express their energy, their strength, and their passion towards. And that's why, if you have a chance, look at that session where we talk about the life of the builder. The thought of the day, be aware. It is so important that we have so much more focus on our life and in our business. This is why they call there's blind spots. When you drive a car, there are blind spots. There are certain things you just cannot see. But if you're more aware, you eventually are able to see. And this could be a huge blessing to you if you are more aware in your business. Oftentimes, we allow a lot of opportunities to go through the cracks, and we never capture it. But be more aware. What's going to happen in this year? What's going to happen in your business? What's going to happen in your personal life? Just kind of set some plans and ideas. Be aware. How much capital do you have? How much debt do you have? How much of that debt should you leverage or get rid of? And so forth. How much of the capital you should work through in the market? And so forth. And these are all questions you and I have to ask ourselves and be more aware. One of the trainings we did are about emotional intelligence. How tired are you? What is your energy level? Can you do more, or you have to sit back and kind of get rest and maybe do less? Be aware. Be aware of your state. It is so crucial that we are aware of what is taking place so we know how to slowly move through life, move through our business, and keep moving forward. So be aware. Ask yourselves the hard questions to recognize what is truly happening in your current life. Today, we're going to talk about the life of the developer. And these are all stages in new homes. And these are all people that are involved in new home sales. And this is why we want to bring as much education to you as the broker for you to understand, oh, there's a developer involved. Oh, there's a builder involved. Oh, there's an investor involved. Oh, there's civil engineers involved, and so forth. And I oftentimes say that if you can understand the language of what takes place, you can understand so much more of what truly is happening. So who is the developer? If you take a urban city, a developer is somebody who looks up on a piece of property, looks at an opportunity, learns zoning that has to do with that property, and uses the maximum potential within the context of that zoning, city and county regulations to figure out what eventual structure can be put there. But not only that, they look at all the infrastructure that is around that parcel, the roads, the traffic lights, all the streets, the curb appeal, the sidewalks, everything that has to do with that piece of land. A developer looks at it and starts making a lot of research and study. They look at soil types. What soil is there? Can we compact it? Do we need more fill? Can we dig out this soil, repackage another soil type, package it up? Like, people look at all of this and do study about all of this. And this is, again, the life of a developer. This is what a developer, they look at water tables, how much water is in the ground, how much compaction, and so forth. But a developer first, he looks for opportunity. He looks at the county, he looks at your city map. He says, you know what, I believe like the next 10 or 15 years, the county is going to grow this direction. They're going to zone this. We got to start studying the land and everything that happens around there. So they start to study what is taking place at a greater scale. Then this developer, when they find the opportunity, they start to look at certain parcels, whether it's a 5-acre, a 10-acre, a 2-acre, maybe an urban city lot that's a 10,000 lot. But they start to look at pieces of dirt that they think that they can have or they could do something with it. We call it the buyer box in just retail real estate. So once they look at that, then they're trying to prospect and trying to work with that landowner to buy that project. So developers are working on how to secure the land, secure their finances to acquire that piece of land or that piece of old structure on that piece of land. And then they go through planning and designing. And again, a lot of this takes a lot of time. So a lot of the things that you see that are being pushed by excavators today has been in process and in development for the last 2 or 3 years, maybe sometimes 5 years. So when you see boots on the ground, so much more preliminary work was done prior to that. So much effort and energy and time was placed into figuring out what truly can go on that piece of dirt. And this is what the developers do. They work with city planners. They work with, fire marshals. They work with traffic. They work with engineers. They're trying to find out what is the best use for this piece of land. And once they figure out and they put all these pieces together, again, which takes so much time. Most of us brokers are used to, a transaction, 30 days and we're done. 40 days, 60 days tops. But these files take, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years in development. And that's why there's a lot more patience that needs to be involved. There's a lot more conversations. There's a lot more sit-downs. If you were to sell somebody's home, maybe you have 3 meetings and they make a decision that they want to sell a home. Well, if a developer wants to spend millions of dollars on a parcel, they might spend 20 meetings before really coming to a decision that they want to spend their millions of dollars on this piece of parcel. And this is where you as a broker have to gain that patience and understand that these files, transactions don't turn so fast. And this is the life of a developer. I used to not understand that as a broker. I thought like snap your fingers, things just get, but these people truly do take their time and they have to because these are projects. And like I say now, you have to marry that project for a couple of years. You cannot just like grab a project and just, drop it, move on to the next one. You grab this project and you work on it for a handful of years. That's why there's a lot of developers and builders throughout the county and the city, because they can't do all the projects. They take a lot of energy and time that needs to be put into those projects. That is why these developers, when they acquire something, they usually move through it, spending a couple of years. So you as a broker, be patient towards developers and builders because they are married to their projects a lot longer than oftentimes us being connected to our transactions. We go through transactions a lot faster and at a lot faster pace than builders building homes or developers developing land. And this is why we do these educations, so we can slowly understand the life and the mindset of a developer. And we could slowly associate ourselves with them, understanding that it's not a quick fix thing. a lot of questions arise along the process of the development, and it takes a lot of time to come to fruition. And we have to be patient. So developer is somebody who works with the land. A developer is somebody who works with infrastructure and brings infrastructure to the land. And he makes sure that everything that is to be built on this land or those lots or that subdivision, there's enough of everything for that amount of units. So do we have a big enough water line? Do we have a big enough sewer line? Do we have a big enough gas line? Is the storm system big enough to fit in everything that has to do with that territory in that area? So study more the mindset of the developer, the lifestyle of a developer. Why? Because in your market, there are those who are developers. In your market, you will find the builders. In your market, you will find the investors. And we as brokers have to move into the territory and work with these developers and builders, because new home space is a huge complement to your broker business.